Hi there, it's Captain Transporting back again. Sorry that I wasn't looking directly at you then, I was looking around at something, trying to get the climb and just make sure that we're not going to run over time. Where did we get to in the last video? We got to here, we started to build our track out. What have we got in the way of money? Not lots. It's probably a little bit pointless me connecting those there. We were messing around with coal and stuff for a had an iron ore down here that really is very little. I can turn that down. That is doing very little. We have that steel mill there. What does it want us to do? Try to deliver more coal. Well, at the moment I can't deliver it more coal, so it is out of luck. Let's see if we can't hook another town into our more road transport going. There's this town over here of Sutton. I guess what I could do, actually just out of curiosity, what is our biggest town now? Kelster. Keister. Is it an L or an I? This is one of our towns that we've... Okay, where was I? Now spun the map round on that. Brilliant. What I might do is at this point in time, to try and boost revenue, get up another town to that system that we have going. I'm just going to slow it down to normal speed. Might come up here. We are now just a couple of days away from the release of, now this may take a couple of days for me to get these up. So probably by the time you're watching this, Trainfever will have come out. But I am basically biding time here, or killing time. But what I have, because my internet is so slow, I have managed to organise to put all my videos onto a memory stick. That comes down and up there and up there and up there and up there and up down there. That goes down there. To get them uploaded on onto another. Somebody else to upload them for me, because for every hour of video that I record, currently with our wonderful Australian NBN system, it could take me 24 hours. Let's just make sure we spell do all this right. And that one's wrong. I need to red line there will be 05. But we didn't leave the space. Let's get pedantic. Yeah. Spent today setting up. Well, it's now again, and we're looking at 9 o'clock at night. If you hear the chime in the background from the clock, ignore it, because for some reason that I cannot figure out. No, we're only one on there. It wants to chime 10 at 9. Now, if I wasn't such a cheapskate, I'd probably take it to a jeweler, but I won't. I don't want to lose my wonderful old chiming clock. Now, these are just one side on the road. Not there, it's on that side. You look along there, actually the little hut is off to one side. We do want to pick up utilising all that stuff if we can. Back to there. That one into there. As we know, there's another town connection coach coming in on these stops. And if people, these little midget people are our Sims on a takeoff to another town, they don't want to walk several days. That one's offset too. Well, it's going to go all the way to there. We'll just plunk another one down here for now. As I was saying, today I've edited up a couple of other videos that precede, you know, like this is now up to the third in the series, which is basically a recap of Trainfever. While I was setting up a new Facebook account today, I was watching YouTube with another person. I can't see it. I won't mention their name. No, I haven't got a dip already yet. Let's down to it. Yes, I do. Let me turn that off. Click on that. Set 3 on that route. I wonder what difference is there. Look at something. 5 should sit below 4. The reason I do, I mean, I know it's crazy, but I do that for a reason to. So, I think I can see the problem. That would certainly sit below it. Okay. And don't think, well, they said they'd never played Trainfever, and here they're putting up videos of Transport Fever, which is fine, but for anybody that's new at any of these games, that is actually a pain, because you had things going off in the wrong. Oh, he's playing one of the campaigns in Transport Fever, one of the European transport campaigns, setting up train signals completely wrong, and getting trains jammed nose to nose, almost wiping it right out. Okay, what have we got here? I think we might just put that one on there. These are never a waste of time. You can always modify them to just become ordinary bus routes as you progress through the game, as you bring your train line in. He was doing a lot of one-way train traffic, you know, with the passing lane. I'm not a huge fan of one-way. If I can get away with two lines, I'll try and. That's possibly why I do take a lot longer to build on my train traffic. You can always sort of tell. I'm picking this is all up, and when you pull back like the industrial stuff, it's always like it looks like a dirtyish brown colour, probably because it is industrial. Why not connect this one to there? All these towns will then be integrated together. Yeah, I'm going to go through that process again. I'll type in that TOWN I went to the right spot. Hopefully I can explain why I do not. It'll come up. For the little bit of extra money you are going to save on a train line, you will waste hang on, I'll just get rid of that a minute. Something a little bit. A bit of a dog leg. It went to there, right? 3. Okay. We'll go 3, 4. Easily fix that there. You watch this. Now you know that all of a sudden now it sits in the middle of the road. Yeah, I know you know. The point is, when you have trains that are going along the road, or going along, not the road, but the track, and they get to a certain point where they have to wait for another, it's actually almost, over the course of the game, it's almost as expensive as putting in your second line. We need another couple of stops. It's like almost like a false economy. Put it on there. I am fully aware there is nothing waiting. We'll go to there, there. The town we just did. Normally when I'm setting up, normally pop go around both sides of the road. But on this particular occasion I haven't done that. Yeah, getting back to this comment about the trains. You can put a single line there, add a line and later if you so choose. But you want to move goods and passengers on a train. It is actually far more benefit. Oh, I can't use that one, I'm on the wrong side of the road. I can do that, analyze it. Comes all the way back down to there and starts again. That's town connection 06. Yeah. But train travelling that way, right? That's travelling from me to you on a single line. And part way along that line, if I want to put 2 trains on it to increase the patronage, I've got to put, so those 2 trains, I've got to put a passing spot in there. Unless you sync those 2 trains really, really accurately, one is going to sit there and wait. And if you look at the running costs, as opposed to putting over probably over a 20 or 30 year period, as opposed to putting in the second line, it's actually cheaper to put the second line in. And it's no more difficult setting up junction points and stuff. So we got oil over here, we're not captivating it. There, jumping down the other thing, might as well get everything we can. Suck the. That looks like, again, I bet that's the blue end of town. Yep. Since I've had Trainfever, because I noticed some of the other properties, like the green properties, were sort of going from that nice vibrant green, if I allowed any of that sort of stuff to end up cargo depots I'd end up with this less vibrant green instead of being. I see the now I'm going to do something that everybody goes, not everybody, lots of people go, oh wow, this is in Transport Fever. We will buy. It's also in Trainfever. I'm not sure which line you're for, right? Set a new line. Why am I closing that? New line will be oil 4, right? I hope I'm not disappearing over that way too far. But I've got to type everything with that one arm. So I do everything with that hand. Literally. And there is one hanging here, but it doesn't do much. Now the goods line would be, this is goods 10. Yeah, you can actually devalue property, which then makes that town not grow as well. And we want some probably not that many. A lot of the stuff I can always tell when somebody's playing in Trainfever that they haven't been playing Trainfever enough to understand the mechanics of it. And unfortunately, if you don't understand the mechanics in this game, you tend not to play. In my opinion, you're not playing Trainfever as efficiently as you could. Industrial zone over here. Freaking miles away. We'll just go. Let's just have a couple of good years. Got people waiting there at Folkestone. Okay, we finally got a steel mill. It looks like it's working. I'm going to put that there. What I'm conscious of is when I go to hook up my if I do want to put train lines in, where am I putting things? 2, 3. I think we'll have to call 3 or something, haven't we? If that was call 3, so theoretically, it should be on all 3. Yeah. And that one will be goods 11. Hold on. It's why? No, that would have been a bit odd. 1, 4, 3. And down here we have goods. Number of people. I mean, and often it's a little bit late by the time you realise that you've got the problem. I see people doing things a little bit back to front in situations like that. Can we throw an extra coal mine here? Coal mine. That would be coal for. I didn't feel so bad when I see that. Plenty of people doing it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we want to set up some vehicles. But we'll open it up again so I can see. Setting to where goods. So I'm going to go to 4 to try and put some strain on that. that again. They're never as cheap as they are today. What do we do? Okay, coal 4. And they've got iron ore 3 to do. Iron ore doesn't. You seem to use a lot more coal. Okay, we've got that dreaded thing. I must have missed something somewhere. This is the goods line. I missed it a second. Wait. Well, if you did miss them and you're not sure which those other vehicles are, it's pretty easy to go up here. Click on the age. Oil 3 needs a vehicle replacement. In fact, it's going to require, this is where you've got to watch this. We're now getting a lot of vehicles that will want replacing. We've got to do wood for our logs. Some of these may be already set. Goods line 8, which is a very old, well, that's already set. Yeah, 1877. Now you can let some of it, I wonder why that is. For a town connection line, it doesn't seem to be making a great deal of money. See, the rest of these are done pretty good. It's just one vehicle on that particular line. Let's just go over and have a look here. Well, all the lines themselves are actually making. I wonder why that one's not making anything. Let's have a look to see which oil line it is. It's a bit of a long haul job. That could be for a couple of reasons. What is the duration that's on there? It may need another couple of vehicles. And we'll start with that first. Yeah. Making pretty good money. This is where you got to watch vehicles. Well, we had no construction costs in 1878. Road, well, we haven't had anything like that. Well, we must have got one road depot. These are the ones you got to watch. Start plonking too many of these, you know, that's too many depots around the joint, and he goes nearly 200,000 a year. We're going to look at road vehicles. And what does the income on that go? But we'll have replacements very shortly. I mean, there's normally got a thing for replacement vehicles. Well, you're watching it, new vehicles, and you actually buy. I'm sure it had a piece of information here about replacement vehicles. Okay, look at that, nearly 10 grand, and not 10 grand, 10 million. Can we go back up to where we were? That's not the corner. This is our little corner that we want. Now the iron ore is up in the ante a bit here. We're going to do this. Now, what is down in this town to know what we can hook to? If I'm going to do it, I'll probably need to up that a little bit. I don't like the way it dog-legged like better. Now I might as well have that there. Now, it's not a good place to split the line. But we are going to go for a decent length station. Now, one of the neat things that I've spotted, really cool, and in Trainfever, and I hope you all see it when you get it, because otherwise it will have a little bit of a, okay, that's near enough, no crossover there, is that what I'm going to do here, like this, pull that across to there, and then basically I want to aim going across that way, and my contour lines tend to land me to think that isn't the best in the best interest of planning my line. For a starter, we're just going to put a line, a road vehicle 78, which is iron ore. That could be where vehicles are slightly out of sync to the slightly out of sync to the ones that originally put on the line, you know. Goods, lovely. Get a vehicle slightly out of sync to all its mates on the. Now I could have just one line here, and I'm not going to. This is my problem with it, is that I can build a line and a single line across there. That's no problem. But to make this, to get this to work nicely, I want trains travelling in both directions. Now, because the way Trainfever works, trains are going to come this way, so it wants to pull into the station. As it pulls out, it wants to go back that way, so it wants to cross over in that direction. God's sake, never ever turn those two signals into one-way lines. What happens if by some strange chance you get a train that's way longer than this platform, gets to here and wants to turn around, and the nose of the locomotive is just slightly past that intersection there, that set of points, it's jammed and the other train's coming in behind it, unless you are watching it really carefully, you'll miss it. That's one I've seen catch out a lot of people. And basically you've got to reverse trains up. And if you do all this sort of stuff right, you want to set in a lot of because all it's going to be as time goes by is that what we're going to do with most of this. Okay, we're going to have now I could get the fancy little tool and rub that out, but I'm not going to do that right this minute. How do you get around that? Okay, the year is what, 1880. And sometime down the track, if you want to do a whole lot of, I mean, you can do line upgrades. I've done it. Started out, you might get a whole line between two towns. I had to on a couple of occasions because for some reason the electric line can get quite glitchy at times. In fact, it gets so glitchy it's put me off using it. I downloaded some nice modded diesel locos which travel just as fast as any electric train. That's a nice British rail, like the Deltic, the Deltic, which replaced the original Flying Scotsman. It's a very, very quick train. Now, as I said, you don't want to. These two down here are one-way there, right? Basically, at this point, if I can set a train going on here, the reason I put them like this is that I can allow the Trainfever is not as intuitive. Oh, darn it. Trainfever is not intuitive enough to space trains out, but pretty sure from some of the blogs that I've heard and watched, Trainfever has that intuitiveness. Now this is the beginning of our first train line, and we're just going to call this one Train 01. Nothing too fancy. We're going to keep it all nice and simple. It will start at the passenger line, not passenger. We want it to go past the goods, right? Onto this line. Now you won't see the return until we click the last one. And we've got a break on the line somewhere. Sure have. Look at that. I go that. That's all it has to be sometimes, just to be really, really annoying. Now I might have to remove this pair of signals here because if I want I'm just thinking something here. I know we're going to need a ton of iron ore, but we're not really going anywhere to get it. We will be in our next part of the line. We'll be going past it. I think what we might do is turn this little guy here. We'll do this. These fellas only need to be little fellas. You know what I mean? You put them in the right spots. Now, excuse me, which you've been doing for several days now, probably been following this series. Oh, that was a bit. Want to be a little bit careful here. Not too much at once. Watch the line. You want to get, I mean, better to go around a hill. If you go to across a valley, say that's a hill, right? Bring your line across that way. If you have a look in the real world. When I was a kid, you know, a long time ago, I had the absolute privilege of going on a train that travels the North Island of New Zealand. And I'll never forget, we got to a part which they call the Rarimu Spiral. If anybody knows anything about New Zealand, that's not what I wanted to do. This is now going to pick up ore. It'll come to there, drop the ore off, and then drop goods off. So we're going to modify that a little bit. Yeah, okay, we'll just go over this quickly. I don't want to hold it. It's called the Rarimu Spiral. And I don't think I've got a hill on this map, anything like it. Literally climbs hundreds of meters, you know, up onto what they call the Central Plateau. And back in the late 1800s, they wanted to join Auckland, which is the biggest city in the North Island, to the capital city. They brought the line down as far as a place called Taunanui, and I think the line only went to Masterton on the south end then by Wellington. But they wanted to connect the two together, and what they had to do, they had all these, I mean, these are huge hills. They had to tunnel through. If you go, I think the line has now been modified. They would climb the side of the hill here, right? And there'd be another one just here. And it'd build them. I mean, this is all hand hewn through rock, you know. And they'd build a viaduct which would join. But again, where they could, if they're bringing a train, that rather than cutting across the high point, they cut across the side to save. I mean, you've got.
Oh yeah.
Well, you've got a footing underneath the train, underneath the line. If you do it that way. Now we need 2 trains here. It's enough of our geography lesson. I can afford to do this part now. And I think that's probably enough of those. But I do know that we are going to want to bring coal back to here. Now I want to distribute some goods. I'm not, I mean, it's dead simple to upgrade a train the way I've set up that station. I'll do, oh no. Wrong button, we want the cloning tool. Now we're going to put them both on our nice train 1 line. You watch, the first train will get to here. With our one-way signalling system, it will go on the right hand side of the line. And now the other one will appear. Now, if you remember rightly, I put a little crossover there. Let's do our little fellow. We'll pretend he's just a little. We know he's a little dude in comparison. We want some iron ore shipped. Let's just hope we can get enough iron ore. We'll only do 3 at this stage. I didn't put a lot of coal magnets in that train, did I? When you do have 2 trains servicing that. Same deal, he'll wait there till the last train gets past that one. Yeah, they'll wait. And these two, because the way I've set up this, they'll space themselves out. Let's zoom out of it. We'll speed it up a little bit to see them doing that. Come into the, and he'll cross over and come up this here. Rather than building another depot out here, just as easy to have one depot, we can send them all back there. So if you want to do a line cell up, everything goes back to the same central place. Again, you saw that one cleared that set of points, that set of signals, that set of points. And that one's cleared there already. So he'll just, if you watch, he might just flash so he automatically gets it right. The reason I've done this is that I did have, for a long time, I had model railways with electric, model electric train sets, and I bought solenoids and switches with those, and I was able to build in a semi-automation system that wasn't. It was actually mechanical automation. Okay, we're picking up our first passenger. I don't know what 3 got on the train just to go up to the other end of the line. And we haven't even hooked in buses. I think we probably should hook in some buses on these 2 towns. Seriously. If you want people to ride your train, where we're going to put the bus stop. Because it's a rainy day, they want to be able to sit out the rain. Now that's the one thing we don't get is rainy days. Hope we get some rainy days soon because we're in the midst of a drought. Now I'm going to be cheapskates. I'm going to back to my. I love making loops. What we'll do, maybe probably end up with buses going in both directions. Now this can be, we're not going to get too carried away. Again, just our simple system, 2 buses, 2 bus lines. And you guessed it, bus 1 and bus 2. If it works, do it. Well, that was real clever. We didn't put any stops up there. Real clever. We're not moving anything around the industrial area. On that. And they go from there up there. Brilliant. That stops up there. Is there a stop on that side? Yeah, it's in the middle of the road, so it's okay. Probably should have put one there. in the middle of the road. No. They're a little bit careless here. See another one there. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the one on the right hand side. Now in theory that'll go up there and do a loopy. Oh, I didn't do my second line, did I? So I'll leave that on. Basically what this one is doing is going in the opposite direction. People do go to work and want to come home again. What's the bet we don't have a road depot? Nope. What's the name of the town? Bovey, Tracy. Oh, not there. Because we want to encourage patronage. We'll have a look and see let's see what the frequency, 5 and 6 minutes, that's not bad, pretty good going. I think I need to do some catch-ups. Just keep those in mind. Coal again. Goods. What looks really, really interesting is that you can either go for an auto on a vehicle and transport feed, or you can actually select. I think I'm going to be a bit more careful if I start using non-auto refits, because I'm going to have lines that just cease operating. Now, is this little fellow producing unit on, or what? Get picking up on? Okay, get sitting on the station. It dropped some off there, but it probably won't do. No, it didn't do. I'm going to send that to the. I'm going to send it to the depot. I didn't put a coal wagon on it. What's that guy doing? 19 of 22. Okay, we've got passenger transport. He needs. I'm going to do some loading here. And they won't get used unless the coal starts coming in from out here. Right, now we're going to connect to this town, and I probably should have done the bus stop there. We're sort of charging ahead a little bit at the moment. Everybody's going, hooray, it's taking you forever to get to this. Yeah, it does some days. But when we get going, we get going. Remember, we want to. See, it's now worth my while. I'm actually moving a lot more people. That's my 2 trains. Than you would with your 2 trains going backwards and forwards, waiting in the middle. What does this town look like? What we're able to do is do this. Yeah, Herman. We just draw a line right across there. I know it'll go up there. Connects that. That. And we will. We'll bring out. Didn't go that way far enough, did I?
Oh yeah.
Okay, this will grow out in time. May not right at the minute, but it will, believe me. It works. I know it works because I've done it heaps and heaps of times. And unfortunately, I have not been able to contribute a lot at times in the way of videos because, you know, we're building a new house and having an internet speed that's about that makes a snail look incredibly quick. Now these 2 can't afford to be one way here. It's just those 2 beside the crossover at this stage. Some twerp on Facebook going dong 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 dong. I better be careful, that twerp could be somebody important. You know, we're getting close to an hour, yeah, and have made some progress. I feel good about it. When I've done this particular line, that could be my darling saying she's on her way home from work. She does that. She goes dong dong on Facebook. I didn't want to call her to work because she might look up the video and go, hey, that was me, and beat me up. And I'll be in deep feces. Okay, that should do us for stuff. Again, we want line clearances. Now these 2 will become redundant. Well, they don't become redundant, but they can be used to force trains to follow the right path. We'll do that in a minute. Let's get these sorted first. Roll on Tuesday. The Tuesday before, it's like waiting for Christmas when you're a little kid. Yeah? Santa is coming. Get better than Santa. Transport Fever's coming. Okay, let's look now. I was saying to you once. Now that little Prussian's probably better off doing that. Let's just have a look at our train railroad. Give that a minute. The last stop on the line is stop 4, right? And then he goes to there. Now if you don't want an express going back and you want to pick up things going in both directions, click back to the last time where see that one became 10, that becomes 11. And if you're ever going back, never click on the first one because you cancel your line out. I'm not sure if I covered that. Probably didn't. Now, this is where these two become a little bit redundant in as much as that they can now, the train's not like you'll try and return on them, they become part of the system. But we do need some buses at this town. Now did I put the terminal? I love these things. Your buses come in and do a you and you out. More like real. Okay. Now this coal mine here. It's online, see that? It's now picked up. Basically what we've done, even though we were trying to do that last night, well not we, me was trying to do that last night, force the thing with a horse. Sometimes it would work with a horse and cart. You're getting coaly things. Lots of thingamy whatsits in your watch. I tell you what, if I had done a split line here to have taken one line out that way, then and really cool when you get 5 lines here, right, 5 tracks, right? 2 going one way and coming back, and then you get stuff stacking up on these. It's really cool. But hopefully in this series we will. Oh well, he's dropping off goods, and that is good. He's not picking up fast enough. You really don't want 2 trains on this line. It's not. I mean, we don't get rid of the road transport at this stage. I don't think we've even got a road transport there, do I? I do that. Just not for our time, but we need a goods one. And we'll call it goods 11. Now, just like in the real world, sometimes you've got to have a duplication or something. Goods 11, right? We'll probably only once. And we'll go for 2 because I only horse and carts. That one should have been goods 12, shouldn't it? Not goods 11. When it gets down to a truck, hopefully, we will have half a truck. Just one half of the truck. Where does where did goods 9 go to? That's what they're waiting for. Goodness me. Oh, hang on, that should go out. Now, what we need to do, as I was saying earlier on, you can move these around. What I'm going to do, click on that one, move that to there, right? And we'll delete 3. Yeah, we've still got that big yeah. I'm not. You know, we had 10 million. Why have we only got 9 now? What's not profiting? I dropped the coal there. now we have an opportunity to do something. Normally, there's not something I normally would do on this type of line. I'm going to show something here. Again, a signalling issue that I watched this afternoon. Doesn't matter how long you make it, the principle's still. I mean, I could put dual platforms, dual line platform. When you do this, you don't need to plonk one there. It's redundant. So the train travels that way, right? And it travels that way. But to stop them having a head-on collision, you put them only on the exit of the passing.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to be anywhere else. Nowhere else. But the alternative is to go buff here and put a dual line in, and then you would have an interesting little scenario here. What we'll do is do this for a start. Now I get to use this little Prussian. I like this little fella. There's a lot of grunt. So out pull that horse egg. I'm going to put an extra. Wait, on the coal there. We're going to give it heaps. Back to that. Let's just follow them a minute. Now this will either work or it'll be a total disaster. If it starts to look like 8 point, why are we going backwards? What line is not working? He's waiting for something. Yeah, this is where this single line issue comes. What I don't like about single lines. They're annoying. As it clears certain points on the track, it will move forward and it'll wait. Now I still believe, I'm a firm believer that a dual line to here would be much more advantageous. It would allow one while it comes in here and the other one to return all the way back up to there. Or simply by changing that and changing that one over there. Now they're going to wait for each other. Oh no, they're far enough spaced apart. I got that reasonably okay. But don't do it without putting signals. Get through the points. We can see both. We can see both of them here. We're starting to produce a decent amount of goods now. I think pretty much we have pretty much covered the things. In the next video, we just might, I could always optimate that a 4-line station. Now we are producing enough goods that racking them up. They're starting to sit on the dock here, right? On the platform. And we're not going to run into a problem here, are we, Houston? Why does that one come so far forward? We're going to turn one around. I tell you what, we are definitely going to, in the next video, when I come back, definitely going to get rid of this catastrophe. Because this is one of those situations that to me is just totally problematic. It somehow slipped past that set of signals, which should have been down, like they are now. It happens sometimes when you've got a station like this between the two trains. And I'll show you how to get around that. But we can leave just a 3-line in there, but we'll go to a 4-line, 2-line here. Well, that's this particular video done. I hope you have got something out of it. I don't know why we're not. Sometimes it's real dumb. I could put a coal wagon, you know, coal if I wanted to, a road coal, but I won't. But anyway, that's it. Captain Transporting signing off one more time, and that was recapping Trainfever Part 3. That one is.